Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about why it's so important to stay in the present moment. This is Scientist Meets Spirituality, and I'm Riva. Let's jump right into it. So in the world of mindfulness and spirituality, you'll often hear people talking about being in the present moment, the now moment. And I want to explain my understanding over the past several years of why this is so important and what it really means. So what I have found is that the present moment is so important because that is where you can connect with that deep inner wisdom, that intuition, that wise knowledge that you carry with you that's far beyond anything else you can research or try to understand logically and everything else. It's that deep inner wisdom. And you can only access it in the present moment. If you're focused on the past and beating yourself up about what happened yesterday or the past years, and you're looking for answers in patterns that you used to have, that's not going to be ideal, and that's not going to be the most optimal information. While you can look there, the belief is that you are actually able to tap into something far more expansive and effective for knowledge by being in the present moment. Same goes for the future. So if you're so hyper focused on the future about what you're afraid of happening, if you're so focused on what's going to happen next days, years, months, and you're not in the present moment, you're not going to be able to see all of the incredible opportunities in front of you because you're so fixated on what's going to happen later on, and you're not in the present moment. And you can often find yourself toggling between the past and the future, and you're maybe afraid of what's happened in the past happening again, so you're so focused on the future to prevent it, and you exhaust a lot of energy and everything along the way instead of just tapping into that deep inner wisdom that's with you in this moment. Am I saying you should never prepare? You should never assess yourself? No. All of those things can be beneficial to some level, but it truly is this present moment where you can connect with that gut instinct and you've had this happen in the past. It's like when you made that decision to change jobs and it was uncertain and it was risky and it was a little bit challenging, and yet you knew you had to make a change. So based on all logical things, you probably would have told yourself not to do it, but there was something in you that was guiding you, telling you, I need to do something different now. And, it's like that with meeting people. Sometimes there's something that tells you, I need to talk to that person. There's some reason that's beyond you, that's inside of you, that's just beyond your logical mind, at least, that's telling you this is something I need to do. And when you follow those nudges, so that inner wisdom's guidance, then you access possibilities that are unfathomable, just incredible experiences and things and chances that open up doors that to a world that's more magnificent than you can imagine or have logically planned for, at least. So, and I want to give you an example of driving, kind of like a metaphor for what this is, to break this down a little bit more. So imagine you're driving down a downtown street and maybe you're looking for parking or something. If you're hyper fixated at your rear view mirror and all you're doing is looking at this rear view mirror at what you have already gone by, that's going to represent hyper focusing on the past. Then all you're ever going to do is see what you have already bypassed. You might see that you have missed some parking spaces. You drove right past them and there's these open parking spaces, a couple blocks behind you. You go, darn it, I missed them. But that's because you're only looking in the past. You're only going to see the things that you're going to focus on regretting. And it's not to say you can't look at the positive. It's just most people hyper focus on the negative. So you're going to be filled with regret of, I missed that space, I missed the other space, and then or you're just going to see blocks and blocks of parked cars and you're going to go, oh, okay, well, there's probably not going to be an open space because the last 3 blocks were parked cars back to back. So, why would there be suddenly an opening on the next block? However, if you were in the present moment, you could actually see that maybe a car just pulled out in front of you and you have plenty of awareness and time and conscious awareness that you can just pull right into that spot because it suddenly opened up for you. But if you're only looking at that rear view mirror, you're only looking at your past, you're not going to have the ability to, in the now moment, make the decision to take an opportunity that just presented itself to you. Same as the future. If you're hyper focused on the future, maybe like 3 or 4 blocks ahead, you're going to be focused on, oh my gosh, there's a couple open spaces up there, and be so rushing and wanting to get there and beat other people that all you're focusing on is that. You might actually miss that someone just zipped right out and pulled their car out, and there's an open space even closer to where you wanted to go. Or maybe someone walks right across the street and you end up hitting them because you're so focused on getting over there in the distance, you're not looking at what's happening in front of you. So if you're in the present moment, you can see all the opportunities, you can see the potential hurdles and the potential blocks and the potential maybe distractions and things that'll pop up, and be much more prepared and effective, and have the capacity to consciously decide, oh, this opportunity presented itself to me, so I can take it. Or, oh, you know what? I see that there's an issue right in front of me. As the person just ran through, I'm going to pause. I'm going to break. I'm going to, not hit the person. You have so much more capacity to function consciously if you are in the present moment, not stuck in the rearview mirror and not stuck, 4 blocks ahead of you. So if you're in that present moment, you can tap into this knowing of, maybe I should slow down. Maybe you tap into the knowing that like there's a car that's got their blinkers on, like they're gonna pull out soon. So you pause, and there's something in you that tells you, you know what, let's just wait this one out and see, maybe this person will leave. But I'm using that example, and I don't want it to seem so shallow because we're talking about a parking space, and it doesn't really get at the level of that deep inner wisdom that I'm talking about. But again, that is, when it comes to being in the present moment, it works the same in life when you're going through life with opportunities, whether it's job opportunities, a relationship that comes along, different things. If you're in the present moment, you're going to have the potential to tap into answers that are, again, beyond your logical thinking mind. They're going to be the way to open doors for yourself, open possibilities for yourself, and give you access to a life that you just couldn't imagine was possible. All right. So that is why it's so important to stay in the present moment, is to connect with that intuition, that wisdom, and there's so many possibilities that can kind of come along from that. I'll leave it at that for now. As always, the light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.